And good morning at 7:03 on this Thursday, December 12th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. It is a Thursday morning, another frosty, cold one out there. We're glad to have you with us and glad to have a couple of people around the table this morning from Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. We've got the usual, too. Paul Tubbs is here. Paul, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
And we've got Ronnie Kelly. Ronnie, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Well, Paul likes to talk a little sports, and, of course, the Final Four have been established as far as college football. You want to make a prediction now, or you want to wait?
No, I believe we were talking, me and you were talking that Ohio State, I think they're pretty tough. I think Ohio State and LSU probably be the two finals. I think that the game with Ohio State's going to be a heck of a semifinal game when Dabo Swinney, they come in there and play. I'd say that's going to be Clemson. Ohio State's going to be a really good game, but I think Ohio State will kind of pull it out and play LSU in the final.
And finals?
I think the SEC come through again.
Is there anybody better than LSU?
It'd be hard right now. I mean, they got a pretty complete team.
Ronnie, you probably don't pay as much attention to college sports, football, as Paul does, but at least being around him, you've got to be exposed to it.
Yes, I have a little knowledge because Paul, I listen to whatever he say because a lot of times he talk about sports, and I'm more like in the high school football, and and go to all the little high school games, football, basketball, and I like a little college game too. But I don't get into it as deep as Paul do.
Well, we need to talk about Bates Ford, of course, 1673 West Main, the dealer. They'll trade for anything you don't eat, and the place where you can get that oil change. Still got the $28.95 oil?
$28.95. If anybody wants to give Christmas gift, we'll get gift cards, stuff like that. Say, if you think we're pushing our Shop Lebanon first, Wilson County, but, if you're buying local stuff, cars, jewelry, whatever, please think about shopping in Wilson County and Lebanon. We've got a lot of great stuff. We took in some really, really good trades. Got 3 F-150s, 2 of them's platinum trucks, 1 silver, 1 black. And I think they're 13 models with pretty low miles. Both of them are reasonably priced. We got another truck that's a blue FX4 F-150 under $20,000 for a 13. I think it's got 70,000 miles on it. But we got some great trades, great deals, a lot of stuff going on.
All this, I know, just makes Ronnie's mouth water.
Yes.
To think all these people is going to come and deal with you.
Right. And a lot of times, right now the weather, like you said, is kind of cold this morning, and people kind of hold up on getting out. But one thing that you can do, you can always go online to Bates Ford and look at all our inventory. And you can give us a call, and we can give you more information on it, and then you can come down. But don't let the weather keep you from looking at the vehicle. Just look online, and if it's something you see that you like, give me a call, Ronnie Kelly, Bates Ford, and we'll discuss it, and we'll put a deal together.
Your Ford trucks have, I guess, Ford has always been popular.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
From the time Henry Ford invented the assembly line. Ford has been one of the leading cars on the road, and then it came along with the trucks, and the trucks have really taken off, haven't they?
Trucks,
and you've got small ones, you've got large ones.
The trucks and your SUVs, a lot of people are starting to buy those, especially a lot of women like trucks. They like SUV, they like setting up, and we have some great incentives on our trucks and SUVs. Even on you take an Edge right now, you got over $5,000 rebate. And that's a great deal.
The Expedition's got almost $10,000 worth of rebates, 0% for 72 months, and it's no payment for 90 days. So you can come in and buy a new Expedition, you'd get 0% for 72 months. They actually put some extra Christmas cash on the vehicles where it's almost $10,000 worth of rebates and no payment for 90 days. So you could have a little bit of extra Christmas cash too there.
Well, all of this waiting for you at Bates Ford, and of course, we probably can't talk up that oil change too much because I don't know of anybody else that's even close to you. Really.
No, we got a great deal on that. Like I said, we buy in bulk, so we can do that. But we get, it's like I said, it's not just a quick oil change. We do a free inspection, look your vehicle over, give you a report if there's any necessary things that you need to do or future needs. So it's a really good deal, $28.95 for up to 5 quarts.
And if somebody wanted to come in and give a gift, make that a gift to somebody.
Sure.
You can give an oil change at Bates Ford.
Oh yeah, come in. We'll give you a gift card.
2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, stocking stuff or whatever you want. We can certainly handle that.
And of course, another thing we talk some about, but I mean, you've got a great service department.
I do, man.
Been there for a long time.
I'm fortunate.
Service after the sale,
Right.
is a good thing, isn't it, Ron?
Yes, it's a great thing. Service after sale is a great thing, and we do that a lot of times. Like I think somebody came in the other day and they said, "I had this vehicle for a month or so, and I got a problem." Paul told them, "Come on in, we'll take care of it."
Yeah, we're not going to sell a vehicle on the street that we don't stand behind. Mr. Bates has instilled that in me, and that's something we're going to make sure everything we sell is roadworthy. It's something, and we're going to make sure we take care of our customers, and if there is an issue, we will stand behind anything that we sell, and that's just the only way we're going to do business because that's the right way to do it, and that's what Tony wants us to do, and that's what we'll do.
And anybody got some of these things that they want to come in and trade for a vehicle, or maybe even see how much cash you
campers, mowers. We took in a little camper yesterday. Lawnmowers, trailers, jewelry. It don't matter. Tony, he loves stuff like that. That gets him excited. So. So if you have anything like that, or you're wanting to get some extra cash, or you got a lawnmower you're not using, or trailer, or camper, we'll certainly put a price on it and trade for it.
All right. You'll find them at 1673 West Main. Been there for a long time, even before it was Bates Ford. It was Burchett Ford.
Yeah.
You've been in the community all these years,
Right.
and Paul, you and your father, I believe.
Yeah, he worked for Ford. He knew Mr. Burchett and Tony, so that's I kind of transplanted from Hendersonville to Lebanon. But I really, really love Lebanon. I've been here probably 15 years, and I like it. So
Been there for 20.
Yeah, I commuted for 5, so, or I've been, I think it's like 23. I look back, it was 97. I think I asked Tammy when my start date was. On another note, they called me last week, and unfortunately, we renewed our contract for another year, so you have to put up with me and Ronnie.
Well, we love putting up with you here on Thursday, so thanks for being with us. Paul Tubbs and Ronnie Kelly, and that's it for Bates Ford.
Thank you.
All right, see you next time.
All right.
Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, the dealer to the trade for anything you don't eat. We're 11 minutes after the hour, and Sergeant P.J. Hardy joins us for his monthly visit to Coleman and Company, right here live in studio this morning. And good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
How are things?
Great. I was going to tell you about the great deals we've got at Lebanon Police Department, but I really can't think of any. Great service, exceptional service with a smile.
I am imagining that the less you, most people who come there probably taking care of a citation or
making donations for their errors. Yeah, that's what we would like to call it. So yeah.
I've never heard it put like that before.
Yeah.
Making a donation for their error.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Running a stop sign, speeding, following too close.
All those, those are simple things. In reality, we, from time to time, we get behind that wheel. We do it every day, day in and day out. And sometimes we just kind of, our minds are wandering here or wandering there, and we get it. And, you might violate one of those rules of the road, and we understand that. And the wonderful thing that the state of Tennessee offers the law enforcement is a little thing called discretion. And so if it's your first rodeo in 10, 15 years, 20 years or whatnot, more than likely you're probably just going to get a warning. If you're what we call a frequent flyer, then you might get a citation. We don't write tickets in Lebanon. That's such an ugly word. We write citations. They're so pretty you can hang them on the wall. And so, we just ask for a slight donation when we issue those citations. And quite frankly, people often think that money goes right into the coffers of the police department, and we get to spend as we wish with it. But truth be told, we only get about 4% of the total revenue that comes in. The state gets a good lion's share of all the revenue that comes in, and then the other bulk of it goes into the city coffers to pay for streets and schools.
Are you saying that if somebody gets a citation on a city street, not a state or federal highway,
Yes, sir.
done by the Lebanon Police Department, that part of the fine and so on, a good part of it, does not stay with the city of Lebanon.
No, goes to the state. Sure does. As in every other city as well. The state has their fees and their setups as far as what we can and can't charge for certain items and whatnot, and they do.
Even if it's a city judge?
Even if it's a city judge on a city street, they still get their money. They get paid. Yes, sir. And so
state knows how to take care of themselves.
Well, they do. But all in all, it's we're all in this together. So if we keep our city safe and our neighbors keep their cities safe, everybody's everybody benefits from it. And so, like I said, the money does help pay for some equipment, but it's not to the level of what most people think. Like I said, most of the money goes to the state and then goes into our city coffers to pay for, like I said, potholes and school books and whatever else the city needs. So,
well, let me ask you this. We'll go to a break. This, of course, is December. Are there? Did you find more traffic violations maybe this time of year, or is it just about normal? Or
no, it's about normal. We typically get bump ups, around the holidays. People are a little bit more careless, might be thinking about other things, especially in the summertime. They're eager to get to whatever vacation spot they're trying to go to, or they're eager to get home from this vacation spot, and so, but no, there's, one thing that does really play in this time of year is the weather. So, if we have weather incidences, then yes, we may see an increase in, more in crashes and that sort of thing. But, no, I'd say overall, from a traffic related, and as it gets colder and if there is inclement weather, there's less people on the streets. Typically, people are smart about it and they'll just stay home. And so, which is what we highly encourage if it is bad. Now, if you have to get out, you have to get out. We understand. Just be careful when you do. But overall, this time of year, we don't see a big increase.
Okay. We do see an increase in some other things, which we'll talk about if we come back from the break.
Sure.
Sergeant P.J. Hardy, Information Officer for the Lebanon Police Department, is here. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
It's a new day at Lebanon Health and Rehabilitation. Lebanon Health and Rehabilitation has experienced new leadership, a new atmosphere at the same location in the heart of Lebanon, located at 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Health and Rehabilitation is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. It's a new day at Lebanon Health Care and Rehabilitation.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us again. Sergeant P.J. Hardy, my guest. We were talking about the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center. You've been over there a few times.
Love the place. Absolutely love the place. Love the folks that come out there. Love the management team out there. It's just a great facility, yeah.
Well, we were talking about Patty and Teresa, and I was telling you that Patty's on a trip. She's got some people, and I've forgotten where, I don't know whether they've gone out of the country or not, but usually when they take a trip, whether it's to Australia or New York or wherever, why, she's the one who does that, and Teresa is left in charge, and this would...
That could be dangerous.
Huh?
That could be dangerous. Love Teresa.
Come and see. This week, Teresa's in charge, so Patty's gone. But anyway, it's we do have a lot of fun and a lot of activity over there and things to do, and I know that you people are familiar with it, although you don't frequent, probably not even as much as the fire department, but you do come sometimes.
We do. We get an opportunity to come out there on occasion, whether we're invited or just to stop by. And it is a great facility. And what's awesome about it is we see folks from other counties, surrounding counties, because they know the program here is awesome, and they like it a lot better. So, big testament to what they do out there at the center.
Well, as we went to the break, I mentioned that though traffic violations are not at the top of the list this time of year, there are some other things that are, and I think some shopping seasons, from Thanksgiving to Christmas, pretty much is what we're talking about here. I think some of them are worse than others. I haven't heard a lot this year. It seems to me that things might have been going pretty smooth, but now you're the man.
All right, hold on. There we go.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, Coleman. Thank you, sir. It's actually been going fairly well this year in comparison. Like you said, some years are worse than others, but we still have to be absolutely mindful of what we're doing. We have to make sure that again we take it, hide it, lock it. Take those items out of your vehicles if you can. Store them in a secure place. If you can't for that time being, at least hide it. Put it in your trunk, under your seats. Don't leave it in plain view, because that's what the would-be bad guys are looking for. They're looking for things that they can see that's in plain view, that's of value, and that's how they victimize folks. And the best thing you can ever do is lock it. And it, of course, we're talking about your vehicles, your cars, but it goes beyond that. Sheds, garages, your house, anything that is of value, that if you can secure it by putting a lock on it, do so. Oftentimes when I'm out and about, I talk about being raised in a different area. I was raised in the Chicago area, so I was raised with the thought process of, well, if you have something valuable, you lock it up, and then you put a board and you nail it down, and then you put a tarp over it. I mean, that's how we kind of grew up. So didn't have the pleasure of growing up in these parts where, back in the day you can leave your keys in your pickup truck with the windows rolled down, all night long, or keep the front screen door unlocked all night. But unfortunately,
I can attest that's the way it was in the 40s and 50s, especially.
Yes, sir.
It
was.
Sir.
It absolutely was. And honestly, it may have still been that way when I first started here back in the early 2000s, but it's not that way anymore, unfortunately. It's not that way anywhere across our land. And so we just need to make sure that we're mindful of that, and that criminals have become more and more lazy. And they're looking for easy prey, and folks to victimize just by their carelessness. I can't tell you. I could probably count on 3 fingers the number of reports I've taken over my career in law enforcement where a vehicle was actually broken into, a window smashed, or something like that. I couldn't begin to tell you the countless numbers of reports I've taken for items stolen from unsecured vehicles. It goes into hundreds and thousands.
Well, it does take a little adjustment, and you kind of have to program yourself, I guess, to do this. I can remember not too many years ago, I hardly ever locked my car. If I'm out of my car anymore, it's nearly always locked.
Yes.
And I have gravitated to that mindset, if you will. And it just makes sense. Don't even take a chance on your car or your front door being unlocked.
And that's the thing. And with technology the way it is today, it just makes it so much more easy for folks to do that. With the push of a button, you can lock and unlock your car. You can set alarms, that sort of thing. Even with doors, the security industry for your home has just a ton of available options. You've got everything from electronic entry systems to security systems that you can navigate and maneuver from your phone. Just so many options, and you just really need to kind of look at as. In the Citizens Academy, we have a night that we talk about all the different safety products that are available, and I always say, buy the best that you can afford. I mean, obviously, there's things out there that most is financially out of most of our reach, but buy the best that you can afford. When it comes to lighting on your house, if you have a well-lit home, you again will decrease that chance of you being a victim because they don't want to be seen. But if your home is dark and you have a lot of stuff around the yard and on the porch and stuff like that where they can hide in the cloak of darkness, that's what they're going to look for. So keep things neat, keep things clean, keep things well lit, and keep things locked. I mean, that's just the best advice I can give.
I have an idea that there are some people who kind of make their living, quote unquote, doing this, but then I wonder too if not a large percentage of either things being taken from somebody's home or their automobile is because of people with a drug habit.
Yeah, that's a good portion of it for sure, because they have to support that habit. They're not working. They're not being a productive member of society. So, oftentimes they get into that. For a while there last year, we had a big issue with juveniles coming into our area, and that was stemmed from gang activity where they were, working for a particular gang or a particular group, and being juveniles, they knew that the laws were a little bit more laxed on them. So if they were to be caught, it wasn't as big of a deal. So there's a lot of reasons why things get taken, things get stolen, but the main factor is that you just want to make sure that you help yourself, and that you just keep everything secure. And it just, it's all about the percentages. The more you do that, the less opportunity there is for you to become a victim, and that's what it's all about. So,
well, we may sound like a stuck record occasionally but
I couldn't say it enough. I really couldn't. Every time I come, I can go back and pull the numbers of how many more reports we've taken of things being stolen out of unsecured vehicles. So,
well, we got about 5 minutes left.
Sure.
What else is going on?
Well, I want to say a special thank you to I want to say that our hearts go out to Eric Reed and his family for the loss of their son Caleb this past weekend. His church, his family, first of all, is incredible. They've always supported our department in many, many different ways, and we've really appreciated that relationship that we've had for the last several years. His church family has provided for us in that they put on a Christmas party for our entire department. And when I say they put it on, I mean they put it on. Everything from food to little gifts and prizes and stuff like that. There's a room set up for the kids. And, with us being in law enforcement, we can't always come to the table together. Mm-hmm. It's just the way that it is. But they've been able to provide for us and support us in that way, and in many other ways in the community. And I just wanted to, say thank you so much to Eric and his family. Again, our condolences and prayers go out to him and his family as they navigate through this time. And we look forward tonight, as a matter of fact, to spending time with his church family and having a little Christmas cheers. So. I want to get that out there. Building update, we're really getting close. We're looking at probably mid-March to 1st of April. Right now, we've got two major projects that are kind of tied together. We've gotten a new radio system, and so that's still being installed with towers and all the technical background stuff that I absolutely couldn't talk about in any way, shape, or form. But nonetheless, before we can flip the switch on the new system, we got to make sure everything is in place, and we don't want to have to do that twice. So we're wanting to make sure that switch can be flipped in the new building. So we're trying to time all that. But we've got we have the furnishings ordered. A lot of the work is really starting to ramp up. We have glass fronts in some of the offices that have been installed. They look beautiful. So yeah, we're just moving right along with that project.
Well, you were talking about all the policemen or all the police force couldn't. Well, you can't really do anything together because somebody's got to do the work.
Available. That's right.
How do you work that for the holidays for Thanksgiving or Christmas, etc. For example?
Well, it's one of those things. If your shift works on a holiday, you're working. I can't tell you the number of Thanksgivings and Christmases and birthdays and whatever else I've missed over the years. On occasion, you can work yourself to a point where you have a little bit of seniority and ask for the night off or the day off or whatnot. Sometimes, we trade out days among officers. So we do the best that we can. But you're absolutely right. We're a 24-hour service, so someone has to be out there.
And I think in this sense, you're a little bit different even from the fire department. If they're not fighting a fire, as long as they're over there in the hall and on call, they can still even have their family maybe come. You've got to have somebody out in some patrol cars all the time, haven't you?
Yeah. That's what we do. So we're out on the streets, we're out in the patrol cars. Our laptop holders, our MDT holders, often become food trays. As we during these times. So yeah, it is. And the great thing about our schedule is that every year it kind of changes, every couple of years changes over. So where you might have gone a couple of years and had to work the holidays, you'll go through a period where you'll be off on those holidays. So it does balance out, but it is what it is. It's kind of the nature of the beast. So but we enjoy it. We support those men and women that work, and it's not just the patrol officers. We have to have support staff. Our dispatchers are here during those times, and it's the same thing for them, and it just it's part of doing business, and so we recognize, we understand it, and to have to have people in our community support us in that way, and to be able to provide a little Christmas dinner for us, that's just awesome. We just really appreciate it.
Well, our time is come and gone. I guess I'll just thank you again for being with us and say see you next year.
See you next year. Merry Christmas to MJ and Billy and you, sir, and all the staff here, and we appreciate you, and Merry Christmas.
Well, we thank you and appreciate your visit each time. That is Sergeant P.J. Hardy, the Lebanon Police Department, and that is Part 1 of Coleman Company. Please keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
The Pavilion Senior Living residents are inviting you to become their new neighbor. If you're looking for a sign to move, call us at 444-5556 to learn more about the details. Or go to thepavilionseniorliving.com for more information. Or better yet, just drop by 1408 Medical Center Drive right behind Tenova Hospital and see for yourself. You should move here.
The temperature's dropping, and so are the prices at Bates Ford. We got some great deals for you. We got vehicles with rebates up to $10,000, zero interest for 72 months. On the service side, we got tires with rebates of up to $140. We've got the Works vehicle package, which includes an oil change and a tire rotation for the low price of $49.95. Come see us at Bates Ford, 1673 West Main Street, 444-8221, or visit us on the web at www.tonybatesford.com, the dealer that will trade for anything that don't eat.
Introducing Radius, the next great zero-radius turn mower from Exmark. Available now for as little as $4,999 with attractive financing offers, too. With Exmark, you'll get a great-looking professional quality cut in less time, every time. From the mowers Landscape Pros trust 2-to-1 over the next best-selling brand. See your local Exmark dealer for complete pricing and finance details, and schedule a free demo today. Stop by Absolute Kubota at 1325 West Main Street in Lebanon, or call 615-449-6171.
More sunshine is in the forecast for your Thursday. It will still be chilly out there. Has will top out in the mid-40s this afternoon. If you're going to be out and about this evening, more clouds will begin to push in. I can't roll out a few showers with some snowflakes mixing in after dark. Lows will fall to right around the freezing mark overnight. That's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Nisa Lomax.
Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us. We are here on a Thursday morning. Today is the 12th day of December, and we're going to talk about the Pavilion Senior Living here in Lebanon. Heather Sadler is with us. Heather's on the phone this morning, and Heather, it's up to you whether you want to tell us where you are or not. But good morning.
I am in Jane Lou, West Virginia.
Boy, how's the weather?
Well, there's been a little snow, and it's about 19 degrees. It's super cold, for sure.
Well, are you there on business or pleasure, if I may ask?
On business, we have a skilled nursing facility in West Virginia. So we are up here working with the team up here and getting to know everybody. So we're actually working pretty hard up here.
What's up?
We had an indoor snowball fight with our residents because it was too cold to have it on the inside, on the outside. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, what's the terrain? Are you in a mountain area or?
When I go outside, you can see the mountains. I'm not necessarily in the mountains, but I'm definitely on the ridge of them. Mm-hmm. So it's up and down the roads go, and it's definitely a little different from Middle Tennessee, and much different from my home of the flat West Tennessee I grew up in. So lots of little windy roads, but people up here are actually so welcoming and so nice. So that's always nice. And then we found a few places that have some local flavor. They have a lot of Italian restaurants right here, and the guy at the restaurant told me last night it was because in the coal mines they used to go to Italy and bring guys from Italy over to work in the coal mines. And then the pipeline is actually going through right around here too. So there's a lot of a lot of people working on that in this area.
Well, the service that you offer there, is it any different really from what you do here?
It's just like our rehab and long-term care building. So just like the very first pavilion we opened in Lebanon. So they have short-term rehab and long-term care. So it is actually just the same thing. It's just in West Virginia. Mm-hmm. So. Well,
how long you been there, by the way?
Well, we drove in. We left Tuesday morning at 6. I'm here with two of my colleagues, Joey Nizik and Van Cluck, and we left at 6 and drove straight through and drove through the beautiful country side of Kentucky through Lexington, and then drove in through Charleston and kept driving. Mm-hmm. So it was only an 8-hour drive, not too terrible. So
you did all that Tuesday.
With Tuesday, and then we're going to leave here Friday morning and head back. Mm-hmm. According to my little girls, it's 3 sleeps, and then I'll be back.
The way we describe things sometimes, but that's pretty cool. 3
that's
sleeps.
Right.
And
so it's just I video chat with them because they want to know where I'm at, and of course I got to show them snow, and Sophie wanted me to bring her back some. Mm-hmm. So there's no way I can bring her back snow, but she really enjoyed seeing it. And it was really pretty. So we drove through a lot of little wet snow, and kind of that when it was coming through Middle Tennessee, we got right in front of it. So we hit a little bit of it. Nothing too terrible.
Well, you are marketing director for the pavilion, and that's the way I usually introduce you. I'm not sure I said it this morning, but are you doing the same thing basically there that you do here? I mean, your duties as marketing director, which probably pretty, there's quite a bit to your job, in other words.
There is. So marketing also falls under of course, is admissions. So I'm working with the hospitals here to know about us and then know our criteria and, working. We've got a new admissions coordinator in this building. So I'm working with her to kind of teach her how to share the good news of what we offer for residents. So she and will be out at different hospitals today and different doctor's offices just talking about Crestview Manor. So that's what we'll do here. And then I'll get back to Tennessee and I'll continue doing that about the pavilion and sharing the good news about what we provide for our residents. That's what I do, and it's what I love to do.
Is December much different from other times of the year as far as really all you do?
Well, for assisted living, it is. We've had lots of families start calling us because when they spend time at home, let's say they were home for Thanksgiving and they knew it was a little bit tougher on mom than they thought, or they didn't see that she'd been able to keep up the house, or they see that her medications, may have gotten not taken properly. So we get lots of calls. Now, it's not necessarily they call and then they move in. It's more of a, I call it discovery. They're discovering, what what services we can give and to fix the needs that they've found. You know, because kind of around the holidays when we spend a lot of time and we see things, you know, you can go home for a couple of days and see a lot of things that you wouldn't see just, you know, meeting them for lunch or just calling on the phone or those type of things. So December is a pretty powerful month for our industry, and it goes on into January.
And the fact that that Thanksgiving may have prompted some people to start thinking in your direction probably adds to all that you're doing now.
Well, and then a lot of times, you know, maybe a brother will see something at Thanksgiving, and then the sister's going to go in for Christmas, and then she sees the same thing, or you know, or another family member. So that happens. I mean, quite frequently for us. So the holidays are, you know, and of course, everybody. It's a sensitive subject. You know, a lot of people don't want to tell their loved ones that they think they need more assistance and those type of things. And you know, I like to say that we're just offering more assistance to make their life a lot easier.
Well, I hope that, I mean, you can probably, not meaning to, but you yourself as marketing director can probably get into some family situations here. You're kind of brought in, and I hope and I think you do have the diplomacy and maybe the answers and know how to talk with people and keep everybody civil, if you will.
Well, you know, I've had some difficult conversations in the past. I've been doing this now, you know, over 10 years. So I've had to be the difficult person, but I've tried to always do it diplomatically and with a smile and you know, looking at the positive side of everything. I'm a glass half full, not half empty, for sure. So that kind of helps it as well. And then I've also seen the benefits of what we can offer. I've seen the benefits that we can offer. You know, you may go, you know, home and see your mom or your aunt, and they're not doing so well. But once they move into a community like assisted living, then they're going to get 3 meals a day. They're going to get their medicines on time. They're going to make sure that, you know, we've got somebody cleaning for them, doing the housework for them. You're going to see them flourish. I mean, so that's my exciting thing I get to share is, although this is not what everybody really wants to talk about right away, well, there's more to it, and you know, I get to share that, and I've seen it happen so many times. So that's why I think that I guess that's why I like doing it, and that's why I'm somewhat good at it, because I've seen the flip side to it.
Well, somebody that is maybe living alone, their mate has passed on, and they're there pretty much all day by themselves. I mean, their children probably check with them on the phone or some other friends do or whatever. But for the most part, they're by themselves. When they come and say are in assisted living with you, there's a whole new world there and a lot of friends to make if they want to, right?
A lot of friends, a lot of extended family, I like to say. You know, and there's something to do with people. They get to eat meals with people, not eat alone, and they get to eat good meals and hot meals. But they didn't have to stand up at the stove and cook that meal. So there's a lot of pros to it for sure, and the loneliness, and you know, it is amazing what happens if you take your medicine according to what your doctor has prescribed, and that. You know, you take it at the right time, you take it at the right level, you don't get confused about it, and it's just amazing. You know, that's why we go to professionals to tell us that, and sometimes that just doesn't happen in the home setting when they're getting a little confused, or they can't open the bottles, or they didn't know they needed to take it with food, those type of things. So,
well, there's a couple other things we might mention here. I'm gonna talk to you till we go to the break here, if you can stay with us here. But a couple of other things we might mention, and we've touched on this a little bit, but there are activities. I don't think you force anybody to participate, but different things, activities to help people enjoy the day and the group setting and that sort of thing.
We do everything from cards, of course, to the famous bingo to, we've got some physical therapists coming over doing exercises. We have a party for every event we could possibly think of, I'll tell you that. We've got our Christmas parties coming up. We do Thanksgiving parties. We do, chocolate milk day parties. Just whatever we're, just all together. We have some Rook and some bridge clubs that are playing. We do a peanut. We call it a peanut auction. So we do that. We have people that will come in and sing for us, and we'll have some people come in and just do one-on-one visits. We have some therapy dogs. When it's a little warmer, we have some outside raised gardens that they can plant some stuff in. So they got to have a better green thumb than I do. So we've got that going on for us. And I mean, they're and I hate, it's kind of like church too. We don't assign seats at meal times, but they kind of all flock to the same seat. Got the same friends, and you're talking about your day, and you're talking about your past and football. We have, we watch the sports there. So we do a pretty good job of getting something that everybody's going to like.
Heather, there's one other thing I want to quickly mention here, and that is the safety and security of assisted living, especially. We hear of people being attacked, people coming off the street, somebody living alone. They're vulnerable. It's totally different in your setting.
Well, so, our doors are completely locked down. We don't give it a time because we say when it's dark, and dark changes. So, then they have to be buzzed to come in. Of course, in our secure unit, you need another password to get in. And so we're pretty locked down. And if there's anybody that's at a door, we have a whole pager system, so there's somebody there. Of course, when the doors are open, we have a receptionist up front that welcomes everybody or checks them in or points them in the right direction. So, we take care of locking the front door for sure and making sure that that's safe for everybody. And, of course, then we have staff there 24 hours a day as well. So if somebody needs something, we've got, we have pendants that they can wear. And when they press that pendant, it buzzes to one of our staff members, and our staff members knows where to go to go help. So whether that's something little or something big, we've got that. And of course, they're continuously making rounds all night to make sure that we know our residents are safe and they don't need anything from us. So that's always,
All right. The Pavilion Senior Living, located at 1409 Medical Center Drive. It is just north of Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And if you're going to the emergency room, go one street over and down to the left. You'll find it on the right of that street there. And you can also reach Heather at 615-444-5556. Thanks for being with us this morning. Hope you have a successful time in West Virginia, and we'll see you when you get home, okay?
That sounds good. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you. Heather Sadler there, and that's it for the Pavilion here on this Thursday morning. It's time for us to take a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
It's all about taking care of you, and THW Insurance will do just that. Are you looking for home or auto insurance? THW represents Westfield Insurance and other fine companies. Together, we will protect you and your family. Call Jeff Lee at 615-547-5646 or stop in and see him at the Wilson Bank and Trust main office.
As the regular season winds down, the heat is turned up for the Titans as they host the Houston Texans. The award-winning Titans countdown happens at 11. It's an AFC South Division battle with a kickoff at noon with the voice of the Titans, Mike Heath, and Coach Dave McGinnis.
Brought to you by Absolute Kubota Exmark, Bates Ford, Fakes and Hooker, Stevenwell Plumbing, and the Jewelers.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
Coleman and Company, thanks for being with us here on this Thursday morning. As you might guess by now, my guest has not shown up this morning for part two, and I don't want to embarrass anybody. I'm not even going to say who was supposed to be here. I'm pretty sure they were supposed to be here. I don't think it's my fault, but sometimes it is. Anyway, we've got about 12 minutes to kill here, and when I got out this morning, there was a lot of frost out there. one of the things I have found that helps is a little covering that I put over the windshield. If I anticipate frost the next morning, I cover my windshield, and that way I don't have as much frost to scrape off, and I can get going a little bit better. Takes my car a little while to get warm, and the windows where you can see out of them. But once that happens, it's smooth sailing. I'm going to get MJ to come in here. We're going to pick her brain in a minute here. You never know what she's doing or what's going to come out of her mouth, really. But she's one of our mainstays here, the Florida gal that came to Tennessee and has liked us enough to stay, and doesn't even go to Florida, but maybe 2 or 3 times a year when she has the opportunity. But plays that real country music, which we have 23 hours a day here most of the time, I guess we could say. We don't play music on Coleman and Company unless we have a musical guest or something of that nature here. But MJ is going to sit down here and have a little conversation with us. Yeah, good morning to you. Billy is going to run the board for you for a minute here. Maybe.
He can do it all.
Well, how you been?
I'm awesome. Well, I'm doing great. Every day's a blessing. The cold weather gets me a little cranky, but other than that, it's all good.
You don't always go to Florida when you leave here. You go west, St. Louis or Kansas City or somewhere out
Yep.
there.
I've got family that is up in the Kansas City area.
Is it Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri?
Missouri. And that's my mom. I lost my mom in 96. That's how I ended up here in Tennessee. Just looking for a change. And so I've got friends also that are up in the St. Louis area that I spend some of the holidays with. And it's just, it's a lot of fun. So I have a good time.
Well, anytime Florida is mentioned, it kind of perks you up.
Oh, it makes me a happy
you
girl.
Even stand up in the control room if somebody mentions, especially if they mention the Gators.
Well, I have to tell you, our new coach, Coach Mullen, has really turned that program around. He's the one coach in that program, in the history of that program, that has had 2 winning seasons in a row. First year, second year. And you think of the coaches we've had some great ones. We've had some not so great ones, but he has really done a lot with that program, not only sports wise, but academically for our team as well. He's doing some great things at Florida, and he's happy to be there.
Which bowl game you going to?
Gator Bowl.
Oh.
We're playing Virginia.
Oh.
So that's usually lately where we end up, but I'm glad to be going to a bowl game.
Well, now you don't, you follow the Gators, but you're not like Mike Jennings that you've been to every game since 1987 or some such year.
No, well, I have to be honest with you. A lot of times, some of the games I'm out on the lake. So I try to get them in so I can at least listen, or somebody will text me or send me information about it. But a lot of times I'll try to watch them. But if the weather's nice, you're going to see me out on Center Hill.
Well, every once in a while, if they're playing at Vanderbilt, you go to that one.
Always. If it's a Vanderbilt Florida game, I'm always there. So it's one of my most favorite places to watch them play, because Vanderbilt Stadium is a lot of fun. It's a great place. The fans, when Florida hits the field against Vanderbilt, I don't care what their records are, Vanderbilt comes to play. They do. I know it didn't turn out so great in Florida, but it's hard to play the Gators at home.
Yeah, known as the Swamp.
Yes.
And it has quite a reputation.
It does. It's a great atmosphere. It's a huge stadium, and see, with Vanderbilt, it's a little smaller stadium, and I'm usually so close. It's just a lot of fun to see my team play.
Let's talk about you. Actually, were you born in Florida? Born
and raised in Ocala, Florida, and I always tell everybody.
Where's Ocala? Is that central?
North Central Florida is what they call it. In between, I always say Daytona Beach and Crystal River. So you've got, whichever way you want to go. If you want to go fishing, you can go to Crystal River. If you want to go to the beach, I grew up on Daytona Beach. We spent summers, weekends and weeks there. That's my beach I always grew up on. So it's a great place.
I've been to Daytona 2 or 3 times, and I'll have to admit, great beach there.
It is it's a little older beach. When I moved to Tennessee, I kept hearing people talk about Destin. I had really never heard of Destin, Florida. And so that when I vacation, that's where I go now. It's, the closest one to get to as far as a Florida beach, and it's beautiful. So that's usually where I spend my time.
Do you have a problem or even develop a fear of hurricanes when you were growing up?
I didn't. I never thought about it. It's really interesting. And we've been through, like I said, I moved in 1996. We experienced Andrew and a lot of the real bad ones. But it's just part of.
You ever have to evacuate? No?
Not in Ocala. We didn't. But I just never really thought about it. I remember when I moved here in 96, I moved here in October of that year. And I remember that was the year that we had such terrible snow and ice. I was living in Antioch at the time. And to get to the radio station in the morning, I left to get home. It took me 3 hours to get back to Antioch. And then I was turning right around and going to the airport to fly to Orlando to go home for Christmas. And it was 80 degrees and I kissed the ground. I'm so happy to be there.
How'd you get started in radio?
I put that all in God's hands. That is something Susie, when I was roasted for the library roast, talked about it a little bit. I remember as a little kid, I just was always fascinated and dreamed of it and wanted to be a part of it. And I used to have these turntables, and you remember the little recorders that you play in school? Well, that was my pretend microphone, and I had turntables, so I would pretend to be on the radio. And we had a local radio, 2 AM stations back then. It was AM that was big, and we had one that was enclosed in glass, and I used to sit there and watch the DJ work and watch the AP wire run, and I just dreamed and really didn't have a path for it. But the good Lord, it just worked out to where I was working in Western wear business, and we would get the local radio station would come in, and they would, we would buy advertising from them. And I said one time to the sales rep, I said, I've always dreamed of being in radio. I've always wanted to be in radio. And she says, really? She says, well, we've got an opening for Sundays. Why don't you come down and audition? And I did. And then the rest is history. It was God's grace, God's guidance.
How long did you just do the Sunday morning thing?
I did Sundays. As far as period of time, I did Sundays, which, you always have recorded programs. We'd have a countdown. We'd have a program called the Italian House Party, and we'd have some other things. And then I went from Sundays to Saturday, Sunday, and then I did the afternoon show, and then I ended up coming into the morning show. Yeah. And
Did you do real country where you started?
That's what I was going to say. That's how I found this radio station. I was working in television in Nashville when I moved here, first off. And
now, wait a minute. You're really jumping fast here. What made you move from Florida to Nashville?
My mom passed away.
Oh.
She died of cancer in 1996. I had a friend, one person I knew that was living in Nashville, and she says, come visit, come relax and try to, get your head around everything. And because I'm an only child. And so I came to Nashville and loved it. If you had told me prior to 96 I was going to live in Nashville, Tennessee, or move to Tennessee, I would have called you crazy. But I remember a friend of mine gave me this plaque that's still in my office that said, I'm not from Tennessee, but I got here as quick as I could. And that's the truth. I have healed. My heart's healed. Losing your mom it's a hard thing. Losing anybody is a hard thing. And I had lost my grandparents. And so when I got up here, it was just, I don't know, something about Tennessee and the people here and being a part of this radio station, being a part of this community has healed me. Yeah. And I'm happy here and I love it here.
Well, I think we're a pretty good radio family. I mean, I'm only a part-timer, but I am here every morning for an hour.
Well, that's what I love about WANT. And we were talking, I was working in television and I was flipping through the dial on the radio going to work. and I heard Chris Wilson on the radio, and I thought, because we had the same Real Country in Ocala. And I thought, oh, there's a Real Country Network here, Real Country Network. And I looked it up and I saw Lebanon, and I didn't have a clue where Lebanon was. But I ended up calling the station. I wanted to come and visit and see the station, and I had talked to Susie. And she and I sat down and visited for a while, and there it is. I became part of this wonderful family, and it's home. It's truly home. I never would have dreamed that someplace other than Ocala, Florida, or Florida would be home, but this place is special.
We got a little over a minute here, but you have kind of adapted. You've got a boat, and you like the lake.
The water between the ocean and the lake, it's a great place for me. I love it. I don't fish. I'm more of a float out there, and we ski some. We do some tubing. We just play around and have a big time.
And you love country music.
Love country since a little kid. Yeah, always loved it.
All right. Well, thank you for filling in this morning. We will let you go and get back in here. We got the news coming up. MJ will be playing music after that, and have that comedy spotlight and all that she does here. And certainly we appreciate having a few words with her this morning to fill out our time here. And if all goes well, we'll be back tomorrow for the Friday edition. And hopefully our guests will be here, and I'm sure they will be. A little snafu this morning, but we've made the best of it, I think. And so thanks for being with us, and I hope you will join us tomorrow for the Friday edition of Coleman & Company. And until then, I wish you a tremendous day.